Hello, welcome to Moving Iron Podcast Market Rundown with Chip Nellinger. Chip, I'm in a hotel room here, headed down to Shine Wells to watch a demonstration for the Smart Ag auto cart deal that we have going on down there today. So I'm in Burlington, Colorado right now. But man, I'm looking at the board and it looks like everything is pretty much red. Wheat's trending up a little bit, but I'm sure there's a lot of quietness we're going to see here headed into this report on Thursday.
Yeah, a lot of uneasiness, I guess. Well, always when you get a government report, crop report, you never know. Lots of uncertainty. You can see surprises. Had an okay day in corn yesterday. We rallied into the close in corn. Pretty good day. There's ideas that the crops may be shrinking just a little bit. In fact, the average estimate, is for lower, fractionally lower. Half a bushel, 3/4 of a bushel lower in corn, a couple tenths of a bushel lower in beans, but there's a wide variance of opinion. So when you have that, some people thinking bean yields are going up, some people thinking they're going down. It's always open for a surprise or a shock on the report.
Right.
So, the wheat market's just kind of hanging out here. It kind of seems to go back and forth, corn and beans up, wheat down, or vice versa. And we're just slopping. That's the bottom line. There's not a lot of news. Biggest thing is this crop report Thursday morning, 11 a.m. Central. Update on yields, update on world numbers, carry out demand. That'll be big. And then, we're screaming right into this G20 meeting here in a couple of weeks. And there's a lot of optimism around a potential trade agreement. In fact, the vice president of China, the vice premier, whatever they call that official, was kind of on record talking about, yes, we want to get something worked out. A trade war hurts both sides. So there's starting to be a little bit of a softening of the rhetoric, it seems like. Does that mean we're 3 weeks away from an agreement or 18 months? You still don't know. But there's at least a little more optimism that maybe this thing's slowly starting to turn and we can hammer out an agreement. So that's always going to underpin the market, especially the bean market, because it's a major issue for beans, but quietly it's an issue for all our ag products, because if we sign some sort of an agreement, it's likely going to include more than just beans. And it could be a little bit of U.S. corn, it could be pork, it could be beef, sorghum, all kinds of things could be on that list where they would increase their usage and imports from the United States. So it's a big deal. Obviously, been talking about it seems like forever. It'd be nice if we got that out of the way. But we are just kind of limping into this report to get a better feel for where yields are, and then that will set the stage for the winter. Remember, there is a report in December, but they don't change yields. So we get this report tomorrow, Thursday, and then we don't get a yield update until the final report in January. So this will kind of set the stage for the next couple months of trading activity. And so it's a big report, especially more so the trend than the actual numbers, right? If corn goes down a little bit, then it's like, well, okay, they went up in August and September. They went down in October, November. They're not going to go back up. The trend is for lower now. So it'll set the stage for the trend, probably more importantly than what the actual number is. And the next 60 days of trading and market direction will be influenced by this report. So it's a big one. Probably not much going to happen until that comes out. Livestock markets had kind of a wild day. The other thing, we got the election going on, and which you wouldn't think affects the ag markets directly, but it definitely affects the dollar. And so the results of this election are going to be, affect the dollar. That's going to spill over and affect commodities. But we had a pretty ugly day in cattle, especially yesterday. They were approaching limit down. They had a nice bounce into the close. They hit some real strong technical support levels, some retracement levels, some moving averages, and we bounced off of there. No real reason. I don't know why. More technical, money flow. So, they are into support. I think they can hold and bounce a little bit. Hogs didn't have a very good day either. So, we need to get this report out of the way. think the trade today in the livestock market is going to be important. We need to see it hold, hogs and cattle both, or it could open the door up for some more liquidation. So kind of an important day or two ahead of us in the livestock trade, in my opinion, just technically to see if these support levels are going to hold or give way.
Yep. So the livestock market also kind of got beat up a little bit yesterday. What was the sentiment there?
Yeah, it's just one of those days where there was not a lot of fresh news. Like it wasn't something, a news story out that said, oh, this is why cattle are limit down. Sometimes you have that. Sometimes it's kind of inexplicable and technical in nature, meaning we tried to rally last week. Cash traded, at least steady to a touch better, was maybe a little disappointing. I thought, maybe the thought would be that the cash could have been a little stronger. So, and we tried a little bit of a rally early in the morning in cattle, couldn't get it done. And I think it was just some disappointment. And then the longs that have got in there recently are like, hey, if we can't rally, we're getting out. It cascades on itself, and you just puke the market lower. It's just one of those days. There wasn't a lot of news that, at least that I saw, that would have said, hey, cattle have to approach limit down today. It just fed on itself, and it's just one of those things. It's hard. People ask questions. They want analysts like us to say, well, why was cattle that? Well, I don't always have an answer. Sometimes there isn't an answer. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Sometimes it's just some big selling orders. A couple funds decide they want out of a long position and start selling, and it feeds on itself.
Yeah.
And in fact, I think that spilled over and probably hurt the hog market a little bit as well when cattle were down so hard. So hopefully we can support and kind of have that selling pressure behind us here for the next couple of days.
I know it's been pretty early, and the election wasn't very long ago, but the new president in Brazil has very much been compared to Trump and his idea of nationalism, and he talked pretty openly about how China doesn't need to be in their country, basically, and have them kind of wanting to get them out of the country so much, not as, and maybe looking at how they trade stuff. So any feel for anything like there? Anything you're hearing that could be stirring the pot a little bit on that front?
Well, and that's why I think this election is so important. There's all kinds of political undertones around this thing, and the trade agreement with China. That's always a wild card, and it's something new in the markets recently. I'm sure there's always politics or legislation that can affect our grain and livestock markets, but this is just a new era where there's news stories out that are purposely put out that aren't anywhere near the truth, that affects the markets, and tweets and obviously politics, and that's the unknown in this market that can just create a lot of havoc and massive volatility at times, because it's hard enough predicting the things that can affect the market, like the weather and supply issues. What are yields? What's demand? That's hard enough to get a handle on. And then when you throw in, politics and everything's going on in the world and trade wars and tariffs and the election, it makes it pretty difficult. So that's the new dynamic that we're in. You wake up every morning, at least I do, check the markets, check the news. What is affecting it, and it's more times than not it's a tweet or a news story, more so than something that's really about the grain or livestock market. So it's a different world we're trading in now.
All right, Chip. Well, plenty of stuff going on, plenty of volatility to look out for, and we're headed towards the beginning of 2019 here. So getting your plan together for the marketing year, for 2019 marketing year, and kind of managing your risk. If guys want some help with that or had a plan they wanted you to review, what would be the best way to do that?
Yeah, the best way is just call our office, 309-550-7213. We'd love to talk to you. And it is important, guys are trying to finish up harvest and get field work done, and the weather's not real cooperative in a lot of areas. But you look out there, we're north of $4 on December 19 corn. We're, I don't know, $9.35-ish on November 19 beans. got to take a look at that and have a plan, and it's easy to lose sight of that. So we'd love to talk to you. 309-550-7213. Just call us.
All right, Chip. We'll catch you back on Thursday, and maybe you can get your crystal ball out and tell us what that report is going to say, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'll get the pledge out and polish the crystal ball. It was cracked the last time I used it.
Right on. At least you found yours. I can't find mine anywhere, so.
I should throw mine away.
Right on. All right, Chip. You have a good one. We'll talk to you on Thursday.
All right. I'll see you.
All right.